Sports Shooting Stars, we bring the game to you this Friday. Another huge one as the number 3 in District 35A Warwick Warriors travel to battle number 1 in the same district right now, New Oxford Colonials. I got Warwick's coach on, Bob Lochner. Coach Lochner, thanks for jumping on.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Now, our stat guy, Carter Scappa, has down here, you've been coaching for 25 years. Is that a misprint, coach, or is that right on?
No, that's correct.
Wow. Now, has that all been with Warwick, or have you been
25 years at Warwick. Prior to that, I was an assistant coach at Mannheim Central. So
nice?
I've been coaching a long time.
Well, Mannheim Central had some squads back. Was this in the 90 area?
Yes.
Yes. My gosh, my roommate at Slippy Rock played there, and man, they had some awesome teams. But no, you did some baseball coaching. You got 100 wins at baseball coach, over 100 wins at football coach. So again, coach, appreciate you jumping on.
Yep.
I do want to talk about this coming week, obviously. Coach, it's a rematch from last year. They got your number last year, but you have a whole nother team coming in. What's the motivation? How's the locker room? And how excited are you guys for this Friday's game?
Well, obviously, we're excited to play a quality team. We're aware of how many players New Oxford returns from last year's squad. They're tough. They're just a very, very tough football team. To be in the mix, though, we still hope to have a shot at a section title. We need somebody to help us out since we lost Slanko earlier in the year. But getting to districts and trying to make a run at districts is always something you seek to do. Our kids are intense right now. They want to keep going. They're happy with what they've done, but we still think we got a lot more to do.
You come in winning 4 in a row. Coach, the last 2 games, giving up 0 points. What's been the success? What's going on in that defensive squad? Talk about a couple of those players, if you don't mind.
Our defensive coordinator, Coach Smoker, does a fantastic job running the 3-4. He puts our kids in situations to be successful. He openly, we admit, we blitz a lot, but he does a great job, like I said, of putting our kids in a position to be successful. It's a matter of finding athletes to fit the specific jobs on defense. This year, we were fortunate to return a lot of kids from last year who had a lot of experience. We got some kids that can play football. Vinny Begonis, our nose guard defensive tackle, he's a pretty good football player. You look at what we had, we returned a lot on the defensive line. Our secondary, both safeties were back. That's important in any defense. They're both very knowledgeable players. Outside linebackers are both back, and we plugged some holes. Not plugged, but we found some kids to fill in the holes that we had. And what we like about our kids on defense is they're taught to fly to the football, to be aggressive football players on defense. And that's a yearly thing for us. So we're excited for them.
Well, I bet. And I'm sure, how's your speed? Because I know, obviously Billman and Holmes both can fly. How's your speed back there in defensive back and safety?
We got some dudes who can run. I'm not sure that, Billman in particular comes and for Holmes.
Yes. Yes.
Problem with Holmes on Watt, on offense, he can run. He's also 6'2". He's a tall target. So but Billman just scoots. Defensively he comes downhill. So we're aware how fast they are. We got some kids who can run. So.
Well, I know special teams is always big in New Oxford, but you guys coming in 6 block kicks already on special. How big do you think that third phase of the game is going to be coming into a tight game like Friday?
Sometimes it becomes cliche that there's 3 parts to the game. And then, honestly, we don't even try to sell them on the fact that it's a third of the game. We try to tell them that whatever percentage of the game it is, if you can own that percentage or make your opponents do things in preparation for it or worry about your special teams, you're already doing something correctly. But then to execute correctly on a regular basis, you put some pressure on other teams. We've seen them have a knack for blocking kicks. We got some guys that have figured some things out in life. So, and a quick turnover like that sometimes, depending on when it is, can turn a game around, can turn part of a game around, can bring some juice to a squad in the middle of a game. So, we emphasize special teams a lot. New Oxford does the same. We've seen them on film. They're very, very good on special teams. We're aware who the two kick returners are since we already talked about them. So, good teams have good special teams.
Want to highlight the running back a little bit. Heath Schnipke, got over 1,000 all-purpose yards already.
Over 1,000 rushing yards.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. What's been the success there? Is there some big dogs up there? Or is he just a little combination of him just being an all-star like that?
He's a very good running back. We talk sometimes about, and I'm sorry, 26 you have this year, New Oxford has is a very good running back.
Yep.
Last year, number 2 for New Oxford was a kind of kid who you can't teach vision to a certain degree. You can help improve it a little, but sometimes really good running backs have that natural gift of vision. They see a cut before it's coming there. Heath has some of that. He anticipates cuts very well. He runs hard. And then when you consider he's just a sophomore,
Wow.
He has stepped up and done a really good job. However, he'd be the first to admit that it all starts like with your offensive line. And this year, one of the blessings we have is that we returned 4 starters from last year's offensive line. Not only do they work well together, it's one of those situations where they're really tight on and off the field. And we're not the only ones that happens to. Oftentimes, you'll if you see a team that runs the ball very well, there's a unity within the offensive line that helps create that bond. So a lot of it comes from them. Our tight end Begonis is a good blocker as well. So you can't have a good running back without a good line.
Well, yeah, you guys, man, having 4 return starters, that's huge. And I was reading, Coach, it's been a couple multiple quarterbacks you've used over the season. Is that still kind of the case?
Yeah, not necessarily by choice, but we've had some injury issues as part of football. But yep, yeah, we're about on our 4th quarterback right now. So
wow. Well, hey, not giving up a single point the last 2 games, coming in, winning 4 in a row, doing something right, Coach. Gotta ask about a former player here, NFL, Miami Dolphin, Hayden Rucci.
yeah.
Do you keep in touch with him, Coach?
Yeah. Not like weekly or anything, but a couple weeks ago, the Dolphins played on a Thursday night, and so they had the weekend off, and that was also when Penn State had a bye week, and because his brother Nolan's an offensive tackle at Penn State. They showed up at halftime just to come in and say hi to the team, hi to the current crop of kids. So, yep, they keep in contact. Their dad was an assistant coach of ours for a very, very long time before, obviously need comes to travel to see your kids. And they're not kids anymore. They're men, not even young men, huge men, as a matter of fact. But yeah, that's something you see and be very proud of.
That's something going right there for sure, Coach. And it's going to be a barn burner. I know all about those. This Friday night, coverage starts at 6:45 on Sports Shooting Stars. We bring the game to you. Coach Lochner, I appreciate you jumping on here. Best of luck. I hope to catch you before the game out there on the 50-yard line.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Appreciate you taking the time to do this. Appreciate what people like you do to promote high school sports, especially high school football. Yeah, I make no bones about it. Friday Night Lights means something special. So that's why we do this thing. So thank you very much.
Sports Shooting Stars. We bring the game to you.